What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the BookMine YouTube channel. Victor and I are going to be live streaming here. We're going to be using BookMine. Good morning. Denise is already over here. We're going to go ahead
Wow,
and see
she beat
how
us
many books.
there.
Yeah, how many books can we buy? So we're going to go
Yep,
maybe a little bit speed run, a little bit faster
let's
here. We're going to
go.
see how many books we can buy. Let's do it, Victor. So let me share my screen here. Let's go over to BookMine. All right, so let's go and click the reset button. Can you see
I can
my
see your
screen here?
screen.
Okay, awesome. So we've already looked through some of these books on my YouTube channel. We just live stream. Let's do a little bit of filtering. So Victor, there's probably like 20 different ways that you can filter. So let's just start with you. What do you feel? How do you want to go about this?
Yeah, so let's look at the gold meter and let's look at great prices.
Okay. So we're gonna come over here and say only great prices. And essentially a great price means today's price relative to past historical sales is much lower.
Yeah,
So in other words, we're finding a book that's cheaper than it was when it was actually selling. So we already I don't know, did we look? I don't think we looked at this Particle Odyssey book, but you
no,
can look
no,
at
yeah, we have.
the Cuba snapshot. We're right around, I would guess, like the $30 mark.
Yeah,
And then it looks like this had recent sales in the 60 range and then maybe even up to 100. So obviously this is a book we're going to take a look at. Book mine score of 6. So boom, down here at 25, look at this sell. 114, 60, 60, 60, 60 was a little bit lower for about the 6 months before that, interestingly. But a book that definitely can hold some pretty good value here. So it definitely has plenty of sells in the 30s and 40s. And again, more recently in the 60s. So let's go and take a look at this. Looks like 54 right now is the buy box, and we are at an all-in buy price of 31.16. So what price would you be wanting to sell this book at here, Victor?
I'm probably we're pretty high up there. I mean, like at $70
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
at least. Yeah,
Yeah. So if you list this at 70, you're looking at a $16 profit, 50% ROI.
yeah,
And yeah, I think reasonably assuming that the buy box price the whole year has pretty much been above 70, I think that's
yeah.
a pretty good pretty good
That,
estimate
that would
there.
be my minimum, right? My
Yeah.
max would be whatever that top buy box price is up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
120, somewhere around
Yeah.
right around there. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you were able to sell this book for $120, I mean, you're looking at a massive profit potential.
Yeah.
If it were me, I'd still probably be so even though there is two historical sales at 114,
Mhm.
still thinking most of the sales are kind of in that, you know, if you're being conservative, they're in that low 60 range, even though the buy box prices are a little bit higher. So
Yeah.
I would probably be pricing mine probably 70 as the min price, and I usually go pretty narrow, probably like 70 to 80. That's probably what I do. Because also you want to sell the book, and $80 would be still, I think, a very reasonable price. So that's a book that I'd buy there.
That's a great profit book right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's first book up.
yeah, it's one book. You buy that one book, today, and then you're done with BookMine. You've already paid for BookMine and then some for that day. All right, we got now on a very expensive book, $108. A lot of people shy away from expensive books, but they also tend to have much less competition. So let's just see. It's $108. I'm looking at recent sales at 170, 290, 290,
Wow.
299, and then some in the 60 range, and then back before that in the 190 range. If we look at the last 3,000 days, Victor, this is a book that has almost always held great historical value right around $100. Uh, sometimes selling for more, sometimes a little bit
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
So offer counts at 8, offer count relative to the past is not significantly higher or significantly lower. It's kind of just been steady, at the same offer count it was selling in the 290s. So, would you be buying this book, Victor? How much would you be willing to pay for it, and so on?
It's a book that definitely has a proven history of selling in the 200s, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it's 100 now, it's possible, right? I probably would be more of a I would track this book because it has gone down a little bit lower than that, say in
Right.
the 50 to 60 range. So I'd probably track it for around 60, and I would want to buy it for 60, and then probably try to sell it for like 100 at least.
Yeah.
That's probably where my goal would be.
Yeah, it's a hard one, like we mentioned, because it does again have historical precedent for selling in the 290s, which is insane.
Yeah,
But
it's crazy.
also the fact that you could have bought it for, $40 cheaper than you can buy it for right now makes us want to track the book. So here's one that if you like, let's say you bought this book at $100, um, will you be able to sell it for 290 again? I don't know. It maybe
I
looks
mean,
like
it
it was,
sold what a few times at 290, so it
yeah,
wasn't just one fluke, right? It
yeah,
sold like one, two, three, four, like 5, 6 times.
yeah. So I would say, yeah, if you can get this book for 60, I'd feel much better about it. with that said, I wouldn't be surprised if you bought this for 100 and flipped it for like 170,
Yeah.
something like that. So it is definitely a more expensive book though. Okay, this is an interesting one just for people to figure out what do you do with 2 volume sets. So here's a book that looks like it has actually 3 volumes in it, and its current price is about 12 bucks. It's got historical sales in the 30s and the 40s, one up here at what looks to be 139, and then a bunch of sales in the 20s. So for me, because this is actually a 3 volume set, it's kind of hard to confirm whether or not it'll come with all 3 volume sets from the seller. So because it's not like an amazing deal, I'd just pass on it. What about you, Victor?
Yeah, usually if I'm gonna buy a set like that, I would want them to actually say it in the notes that, hey, this book come in this listing comes with 3 books and all 3 books are being shipped or something like that. Some
Yeah.
some way to confirm they recognize the bookseller recognizes that there's actually this is a set and you're gonna get the whole set. Otherwise, yeah, I pass on it.
Awesome. Here's a really good book that I would buy just from first glance. So you can see this is a Lord of the Rings book. Great subject matter here, and you can
Yeah,
see it's right around. Let's see, what's the buy cost? 1461, and you can see we've got tons of sales here in the mid 50s at the
yeah.
lowest price. Buy box as high as 75, and this is a book that most of this year has been much higher than what you can buy for now. It's got sales in the past that high as well. And when it does, what one thing I actually like about this book is it actually does get pretty cheap, but then it always recovers in price. So and you can see the offer count never really gets too high in this book. So here's a book that I would buy. I would say in the next 6 months, I would expect to sell it right around like the 50 ring. What about you, Victor?
Same thing. It's a book that I would like to keep in my inventory. It's one of these like I'm buying assets, right? Because that
Yeah.
book I'm buying it for $10 or $14 altogether. I know sometime in the next 6 months I'll be able to sell it in $40 to $50 range.
Yeah. So we're looking at a buy price of 1461. I've actually bought this. You can see I bought it on February 17th. So I bought it almost a month ago. So what did I buy it for? February 17th. That would have been right around here. That's when these sales went drop. So right a similar price as today. And yeah, my target selling price on this is going to be probably just like I'd say probably like 45 to
Yeah,
65. So 45, $11 profit, 65, $28 profit. I'm good selling it in between there. I think it's gonna sell in between there, like you said, in the next 6 months. And there might be a few more copies available here. So let's see. Yeah, you got 2 in the $10 marks, and then
yeah,
it goes up there. So this one you might be more likely to buy. It's 96% from Goodwill versus 94%. They're both acceptable. I probably bought a good copy when I bought it, but I would say if you're gonna go with one, I would say go with this one,
I
even though
would
it's
too.
a penny more.
Yeah,
A little better price, but they also have better reviews, so they probably do a little bit more of the under promise and over deliver there. So good book there. Let's see what else we can find that looks decent. Let's keep it going. So here's an interesting book that just recently dropped in price. You can see it was actually at 43 and it dropped down to 20. And this book
wow,
has been
yeah.
selling great, right? In the 40s, in the 50s, the 60s, even very good
So,
seasonality
so
to this book.
we're yeah. I was about to say that we can immediately see a trend with this book, right? There's an August, lots of demand in August and lots of demand in January. So this is a telltale sign that this is a college book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we can go and take a look at it. Looks like we got the 1993 from a prime seller here. So let's observe kind of what's going on here. So normally when you get really normally when you get books like this that have great sales ranks, they're
Mhm.
textbooks. Normally when you have these large drops in price, they're mega textbook sell. It looks like there's actually just one copy available though. So that's a good sign. And then there's one copy from a third party merchant fulfilled seller, and then she's back up. So this is a book that if you could sell, like you can see, I'm not selling it. I'm not able to sell it. Would be a great deal. I'm wondering if this is a book that is likely to be counterfeit. So I'm going to take the ASIN, go into the books run calculator. Make sure I get the actual ASIN there, and we're going to go ahead and put that in and see if we. So it says unlikely, but I'm still not able to sell it. So what we preach, Victor, is that if you plug in the ISBN and it says, moderately likely, highly likely, very likely, you definitely would want to pass on that book. But actually, that's an amazing book. for its current price relative to what you could sell for. It's never been cheaper than that in the last year.
You might even have a chance of actually, selling this book back to like a sell back your book type of company for
Absolutely.
something that cheap, because it's actually a really good deal.
Yeah. There you go. $29.55, Victor.
Yeah, we
That's
just
crazy.
we just made $10 guaranteed.
we just, we just made $10 doing what? So there you guys. You guys want to make $10. So you
Yeah,
want to pay for 2 days of BookMine,
yeah,
over 2 days of
yeah.
BookMine, buy
2.5
this book
days.
for $19.93, sell it back to this company for $29.55. And there's actually 2 copies available. I bet you so you might not be able to sell both copies back to Books Run, but what's probably likely to happen with this book is I'd just buy it anyways, the other copy, because as the season goes on,
Yeah.
and this we get closer to the textbook season, you're probably gonna have some of these companies offer a little bit more. So
We both just knew that was a great deal, right? We were like,
yeah,
yeah,
we
let's
just
go check it out. Yeah.
it's such a good deal, Victor, that a buyback company is willing to give you more money than they can buy for themselves on Amazon right now. That shows you the power of BookMine right there, Victor. That's
Right.
incredible.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
That was a lot
Okay.
of fun.
Yeah. All right. Let's take another peek right here. Environmental policy, new direction. So again, another book with seasonality to it, and it just has tanked in price, right? So let's see if this is also a textbook mega seller of any sorts here. So it looks like $15. And the same thing, we got just not like a bunch of offers from any one seller. We've got just quite a few offers at that lower price. Um, we do have a
Oh, but
newer edition
interestingly enough, that was the same seller
seller.
selling it at the lowest price. Yeah,
Right.
at $15.
Let's do the same thing. I'm thinking that because there's more offers available, it's probably not going to be as good, but you never know. You never know. Let's just play a game. Yeah, $6 is the most that they're willing to give you for this one. So yeah, as I expected. But you can sell this
But
book,
you can
and
sell this book, and
yeah, you
that's
can
actually a
sell this
good
book.
deal. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
would.
I think that this is a book I would
Yeah,
buy, even though the offer count is a little bit higher.
yeah.
It shows some great seasonality. And so if you think about what you'd buy this book for, 15.92, and you kind of look at what this book has been getting up to in the mids, in the high 60s, that's kind of the peak price. We're thinking more of the shoulder price, which is kind
Yeah.
of probably more in the 40 to 45 range. I'm thinking $45 on this book next August, September is very likely.
Very likely.
$12 profit.
Exactly.
So this book also sells quite a bit. So I would be thinking in this book, for me personally, I would be happy. I'd be okay buying like 3 copies of this book. What
Yeah,
about you?
and so you could easily see that the used offer count kind of jumps there, and maybe it kind of scares some people off.
Yeah.
But if you looked at last year at this time, it's not much higher than last year. So it's
Yeah.
slightly over last year. So I wouldn't really worry about that. We're,
Yeah.
we're headed to about the same similar season, and yeah, I would definitely buy 2 to 3 copies of this book,
Yeah, and
depending
again,
on how many copies I could find.
we'd be shooting for mid 40s on this book, and you can
Yeah,
see it started buy boxing there right at the beginning of the season, and then you can see it went up to the 60s
yeah,
basically for
yeah.
the tail end of the season. So it's possible you could definitely sell for 60, but at the same time, Victor and I want to make sure you're actually selling the book. So trying to price at the shoulder rather than at the head is a more sure,
Yeah.
it's a better way for you to
It's
actually like sell
it's
books. You know
virtually
what I
a
mean?
guaranteed way to to
Yeah,
to make a profit off that book. So if we
yeah.
were to buy 3 copies at $12, that's $36 just on this book
Just not one book.
in profit.
And so again, going back to the other analogy, if you think of this keep a graph in the
Yeah,
textbook season as like my body,
yeah,
you probably want to be shooting for the book being profitable at the shoulder prices and not the peak price. Even though the peak price is possible, you don't, I wouldn't, I'd say it's more conservative to think about the shoulder peaks. So the shoulders rather than the peaks. So
right, right. The shoulder is almost guaranteed. The head is where it's more like, well, that's a bonus if you can get it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but more than likely you always will get the shoulder.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, let's see what else we can find here. I'm just going through some of these because I want to see if we can find maybe some non-textbooks here that,
I was about to tell you we're passing some really good books, but yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I just want to show kind of a different, like a variation of books as well, because obviously being able to source textbooks is fine, but and that's great. You guys should be sourcing textbooks, but there's also all year round books. And sorry guys, my internet's pretty slow, so this isn't BookMine. This is just being slow. Let's see if we can reset here. Okay, let's reset. Let's go back to gold meter. We'll go back to great price.
And you can
Okay.
probably just go and look for book type and just all year or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Right. So we
Yeah.
can go to book tab, a lot of filtering we can do. So we're gonna say all year, and we're gonna get rid of high school and winter books, and then we'll go there. Let's see. Hopefully this will filter. But one thing that we also want to let you guys know while this is loading is that later on today, if you guys didn't join yesterday's bootcamp, we have part 2 of the OA bookselling bootcamp. This is for people who are kind of newer to bookselling. They're trying to get to the first $10,000 in sales, and they kind of just want to know, how selling books on Amazon works, especially with your online book arbitrage. So we did do part 1 yesterday. That will be going live on my own YouTube channel later. I think about like 45 minutes from now. So you guys
Yeah.
can check out part 1, but then there's going to be a link, Victor, and if you still have that link, if you wouldn't mind like posting it in the chat, so
Okay.
people, if they wanted to go to that, they could.
And
But
we had a ton of fun doing that yesterday. And we had
yeah,
over 60 people there,
yeah,
and we had tons of questions. And being able to answer those questions live and kind of like look over some like keeper charts from the very beginning really helped out a lot of people. And we're ready. We're ready and excited to do it again tonight.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you guys want to join that, you guys are more than welcome to. We are about getting to the end of our sourcing stream as well. So yeah, I would say definitely join up 4:30 to 6 p.m. PST. One other thing that's really cool is that if you're not a current BookMine user, and if you do show up today, we are also planning on this upcoming Monday doing a BookMine training source and a training session that's live.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you some tips on how to use BookMine. And if you come tonight for part 2 of the OA Bookselling Bootcamp, we're actually gonna give you guys like a free trial that's like it's until Monday night basically, where you
Yeah.
guys can actually just without needing to put in any credit card information or anything like that, you guys can just try it out for like 3 days. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you show up tonight. And Victor, did you put the link in the description?
So yeah, for some reason this last time it just gave me an error. So
Okay. Okay. So what we'll do is I can just go ahead and link it down below in the description of this video once we're once it's done.
hopefully this time it worked. I don't know. Can you
Okay, let's see. Okay,
maybe if
so
you
you
could
went ahead and yeah, here's a
copy
sign
that?
up link. I'll go ahead and put it
Yeah.
in the comment section. So if you
Thanks.
guys are here, there you go. You can find it there. So there's a sign up link. You just have to give us your email, and then we'll just so we can give you guys the invite to the Google Meet. Denise says, "Thank you for sharing your expertise in BookMine." Absolutely. Trev says, "Bad no, we didn't have to attend the bootcamp yesterday to attend today. I'll be there, guys. Thanks for all the help." Absolutely. Yeah. Make sure you show
Yeah.
up. Ask a lot of good questions. We'll be going over quite a bit of stuff today, and we think there's going to be a major value add. So excited about it.
I
Anything
mean,
else, Victor?
we can't wait. Hopefully, we'll get even more than 60 people.
Yeah.
The more we can help, the better, right? And
Right.
so
Absolutely.
we're just excited to do it. And this live stream, it was perfect. I hope you guys really liked BookMine. I mean, the new interface is just awesome. I think. What do you
Yeah.
think, Joe? Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
been
It looks
awesome. Yeah,
awesome. I mean, I think it is only improving over time and getting better and better.
yeah.
So just know that what you guys see, even though it, in our opinion, looks awesome, it's just going to get better from here. So
So I've lost
excited.
track of how much profit it was, but it was definitely over $100 today.
Easily.
So
And
yeah.
there's $10 guaranteed profit. Like as soon as you receive the book at your house, ship it off to the buyback company.
Oh
And
yeah,
most.
yeah. That's right. Not that one book. That's correct.
So we paid for two days of BookMine just that one book. Denise says, "Woo, bought 3 profitable
Yeah.
books right away. Let's go." So Denise
Let's
is a
go.
member and she's killing it. She has a daily book goal as well. So Victor, with that said, I think we can head off from here.
I think we
We have a
killed
busy
it.
day
Yep.
later today. So we'll see you guys in the boot camp. Hopefully, you guys will be there, and we'll guys see you later.
All right.
So,
Talk to you later. Bye.
yeah.